Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 809 for the 12th of May for the Ukraine war or the special military operation in Ukraine. This is also known as the situation report or the SITREP. And for those that want to know, the Frontline Changes report has already been published, first on the DPA War channel and then on the DPA main channel. So similarly for this SITREP, it will be on the War channel first. So if you like the war reporting, you have to subscribe on DPA War. And for those that are not subscribed, you must subscribe, because now the YouTube algorithm plays games. Bigger channels just outright win. It doesn't matter how good is the video, so you have to help me subscribe. And even if you don't watch, subscribe. We are now at this kind of level of prostitution. No choice. So there's one more frontline change after the Frontline Changes report has been reported. It's over here, over at this Vovchansk region in the Kharkiv offensive. Russian forces, based on Russian mapping, the Russians have basically filled up all the gaps between Katishche, all the way to Taihe. So the entire northern part of Vovchansk is now taken and formed into a car. So it's now a car with a nice door. So this is basically the situation right now, based on the Russian side, and they are now putting pressure on Vovchansk. And so this is the only Frontline Changes report on top of the one that we have already published. So we go into the strategy and tactical reporting, and of course we're going to continue over here at the Kharkiv Front, and we go from the west to east, left to right. There is still no news regarding Avdiivka. I really have doubt, but this actually ever happened. Maybe this totally did not happen. So no news regarding it, and yeah, we're gonna pretty soon invalidate it at some point. Over at this Lipsy sector, this is Lipsy over here. This is the objective, Lipsy, and the Russians are moving towards Lipsy. And based on the Frontline Changes report, of course, we have the Russians closing in. Based on the Ukrainian reporting, and they have also captured large grounds over Lukyansk. So fighting currently is over at Lukyansk. Over this area here, there is various geolocations, not very important, and capture of Olenikove as well as Morokovets has been validated by the Deep State UA side as well. So we have a confirmation that the Russians have captured these two towns, and they are now being geolocated just off these two locations, and they are pushing towards Klipoke, and as well as moving towards Lipsy. Ukrainian forces counter-attack over at Klipoke. So they are trying to push back the Russians. It's unclear where the exact front line is, because the difference between the Russian and the Ukrainian mapping is so huge. It looks like a big egg. So it's like, this change is just, the difference is just too big. So we're not sure where the front line is in the more absolute terms. So the Russians are currently fighting for Lukyansk. There is no indication that Lukyansk has fallen to the Russians yet. The Ukrainians are holding back. So after the initial shock of the Russian offensive, the Ukrainians have basically regrouped and managed to react. However, the intensity of the offensive is actually still very high, so the Ukrainians are still slowly getting pushed back. So reinforcement has been arriving all over. So, and there's already footages of this combat, especially from the Ukrainian side, is arriving on the social media. There's some has been seen here and there. So at the Zeleny region, there is fighting reported at Neshkoshny, according to the Russian Defense Ministry's 2 days report. It just came out just now before this recording. And Deep State UA also confirmed the capture of Zeleny. So with the frontline change moving towards Nekushny. There is shelling reported at Vasily in the rear position, and the fighting now is heading towards Nekushny as per confirmed by the Russian Defense Ministry. So this little sector here, I will be calling this the Vasily sector. Is a small one because the target is clearly not Lipsy. It's Vasily. It's a separate, totally different place. So let me move these entire arrows. Yeah, so it's a totally different place from Lipsy. We will continue to monitor and see how this progress. And So Vasily itself is rather important as well. As we know, this somewhat big, and there are some small roads leading all over the place. This represents some kind of a hub by itself on top of Lipsy. So the Russians are pushing all these two directions, makes sense. So we move away from this sector. Over at the Zaporizhzhia sector, Russian forces are still attacking Borovka and Zaporizhzhia as well as Ibibsky. The situation remains more or less similar, except that this entire area here is now filled up according to the Russian mapping, Rybus mapping, that the Russians have taken most of these grounds, and the fighting is now over in these various settlements. It's going to be difficult to fight for the Ukrainians, but so far that's the latest update that we have. And we move on to the next sector over in the Vovchansk sector. The Vovchansk sector, as per the Frontline Changes report, the entire region here has been filled up. The entire northern part of Vovchansk has been taken by the Russians, and according to the Russian mapping, and they are now attacking into Vovchansk itself. So this information is confirmed by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry themselves. As they mentioned, Vovchansk is being attacked, and Deep State UA, Ryba, and the Russian Defense Ministry are all reporting about the fighting at Vovchansk. So this is confirmed information that the battle of Vovchansk has begun. So Russian forces have also started to push towards Vovchansk from Taikei. This is currently happening. However, Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking at Taikei as well. So, according to the information from the Russian Defense Ministry in today's report, Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking Taikei. I'm not sure where the vector of counter-attack comes from, so we will definitely continue to monitor. The fighting, the Russian push from Taikei towards Vovchansk is currently, in the fog of war. Well, it's unclear what is how far did they go, how strong did they go, so these are all unknown at this very moment. So that's all from the not all yet, not all yet. Not all yet. There is reinforcement of Ukrainian forces in the southern part of Vovchansk has been reported. 57 motorized rifle brigade has arrived, and there's another force over at Blie Kolozia, which is translated as White Well, Blie Kolozia. And there is geolocation of a massive bomb hitting one of these entrenchment around here. Very, very big bomb, 1,500 kg. And at Vasily itself, that one I already reported about the shelling. So this is the current situation over at this Kharkiv Front. And just changing some icons. So let's move on. So there is actually one more geolocation I missed. It's actually the book launcher getting destroyed by Iskandar just south of Vasily. So yeah, so I didn't see it, a bit blind. We move into the Kherson Front. Over at the Kherson Front, there is no fighting being reported at Krinky. There is, however, shelling continuing over at Tiahinka and Ivanivka. On top of these locations, there is also shelling continuing to be reported at Zolota Balka. This one we have already consistent shelling being reported 9 to 13. So this a lot of shelling at this one location. So we will definitely continue to monitor and see why this location is so heavily shelled. Unless instead of a Ukrainian force gathering in this area here, being poised to cross over, so the Russians bombard them. It could be the other way around. It could be actually the Russians have already gathered a force in this area here, and they are bombarding and softening the Ukrainian positions so that they can cross over. Maybe. So that's all from the Zolota Balka. And we move into the Zaporizhzhia Front. Over at the Zaporizhzhia Front, this is the Zaporizhzhia city, and this is the front line, the Zaporizhzhia Front. At the Orikhiv sector, Russian forces are still fighting in the Robotine region. There is shelling reported at Orikhiv. So that's about it in terms of the fighting. In terms of the frontline change, however, Ukrainian mapping has given up this area here. They say that this is now Russian control with the front line changed to this area here. So the Russians have seemingly taken position over all this heavy entrenchment west of Verbove. The Ukrainian mapping continue to exert control in their mapping over the northern part of Robotine. So we have reflected the frontline change to show that no, they still claim this area here. This was previously invalidated from geolocations, but it's been days now. So who knows? The Russians have given up the position. Ukrainians have retaken the position. So no, we will just follow their mapping. So, but the Russian mapping will not change. It will still be all the way to the northern part, almost the northern part of the entire of Robotine. We move into the Donetsk Front. So this is the Donetsk Front. At the Donetsk Front, the strategic situation is as such. Russian attack at Staromayorsky, Uruzaine, towards Vodian. There is shelling reported in these two locations, Antonivka and Katerinivka. There is Russians continuing their battle at Krasnohorivka. I think that's about it. And shelling reported at Velika Novosilka. Over at this area here, there is no frontline changes. The fighting is simply being reported. We do not know what's happening. There's a geolocation of Russian airstrike over at Blahodatne, over this area here. And Russian Defense Ministry reported in today's report, the just reported one, about attacking Ukrainian forces at Velika Novosilka. So that is a bit of unusual, because we almost don't hear of Velika Novosilka at all nowadays. So there is still fighting reported near Vodian, on the east, in the area of Vodian, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. These two shelling is very interesting. Seems to be rather deliberate. One of them actually is geolocated. Ukrainian self-propelled artillery got destroyed. A Leopard tank got hit by the Krasnopol at this location. I got a feeling I have reported this before, but never mind. And then there is a artillery getting destroyed over on the south of Maximilianivka. Then there is no more fighting reported in the area of Paraskovivka or Novomihailivka. There is no fighting being reported at Georgievka. At the Battle of Krasnohorivka, the battle continues with the Russian forces taken the school. This is reported in the frontline changes report, where the Russians have attacked the school. And the fighting is still ongoing in this area here, with the Russian forces pushing towards the northwestern part, as well as putting pressure from the east. So this is a still ongoing thing. We shall continue to monitor. And let's move on from to the Avdiivka Front. Oh, did I not? Okay, I need to change this mapping. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, updated. The part should already be all red. So that's we move on to the Avdiivka Front. So before we reach there, at Kharkivka, there is actually a geolocation of Ukrainian artillery getting hit, but that's about it. No, nothing much. Not very important. We over at the Avdiivka Front. Over at the Avdiivka Front, the strategic situation is as such. Russian forces attacking at Netelove, clashing with the Ukrainian forces. Russians attack at Yasnobrodivka, Umansky, towards Novoselivka, Persha, Novoporotsky, Sokil, Novo-Alexandrivka, Ocheretine, Arkhangelsk, as well as towards Kalinove. Ukrainian forces counterattack at Ocheretine. So this is the strategic situation at the Avdiivka Front. The Avdiivka Front continues to be really important. It's not less important than the Kharkiv one. Despite the Kharkiv one looks more sexy right now, the Avdiivka Front is actually still the more dangerous front for the Ukrainians, actually. So this is where I think the main attack is still is. The Kharkiv Front is tentatively, I feel, a massive diversion. But if the Ukrainians don't defend, then it will turn from a diversion into an offense, into a real breakout offensive. So, the Ukrainians can't ignore it. So they are caught in this catch-22 situation where they know it's a diversion, but yet they cannot ignore it. That kind of situation. So, so there we move into the details. In terms of the Netelove, Russian forces expanded their control a little bit. I already mentioned in the frontline changes report. They are attacking towards Yasnobrodivka and Umansky. There is a geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting hit just next to the lake, not very important. We move up. The Russian forces expanded their control around Semenivka, creating some buffer zone finally for the Semenivka, and then they have also expanded control south of Solovyove, around Novoporotsky. Now the battle is going to head into Novoporotsky. So let's see how this progress. There is still fighting being reported towards Novoselivska Persha. I wonder if this is actually referring to the Semenivka one, where they are pushing towards this direction, which I will feel a bit ridiculous because it's so far away. Geolocation just off Novoselivska Persha, of a Lancet hitting a Bradley infantry fighting vehicle. Russians are also attacking Shoigu. So that's all from this region here. As we can see, the Russians are making progress, but there is a lot more slower right now because the Ukrainians regrouped. So, and in the northern sector of the Avdiivka Front, Russian forces are attacking Novo-Alexandrivka. They are pushing north of Ocheretine, Kanelsky, and towards Kalinove. Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking over at Ocheretine. So this is the current situation over in the northern sector of the Avdiivka Front. Moving into the Niu-York Front. At the Niu-York Front, Ukrainian forces attack at Sumy as well as New York. That's about it at the Niu-York Front. Into the Bakhmut Front. In the southern flank of the Bakhmut Front, southern half, we have the Russians attacking in the area of Ivanivsky, in the western part of Ivanivsky. They're attacking Klishevka as well as Andrievka. And that's about it. They are now in the northern half. They are pushing towards Chasivya, fighting at Novi, as well as Grigorivka. Geolocations at Novi suggest the TOS-1A, the thermobaric missile, is striking at Novi. There is also geolocation of FPV actions over in the region of Kalinina. So that's about it. Very deep front. Like I mentioned for a long time already, to me, Chasivya is never really a sensible target. And as you can see, despite all the major advance, the Russians are really slow. They don't even want to capture Novi. They're like, no, Novi is already bombarded to the point where it's just a meaningless place, but they don't take it. So, this is why, and I say this is not really why I think the Russians are really should be going, and I don't think they are going there. Over at the Siversk Front, Russian forces are attacking at Bilohorivka, Volkan-Okayamsky, Spurny, Vimka, and Rosolivka. Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking at Rosolivka and Spurny. So finally, we are seeing some counter-action from the Ukrainians at the Siversk Front, but very sporadic, and I'm not sure how much they can do. The Russians have massive entrenchments in the rear positions. You can see this many lines of heavy defenses in the rear. So despite the Ukrainians can do counter offensive, they may be able to capture even towns if they really put their effort to it. They can't break through those heavy lines. And that's going to be a problem, because if you cannot break through these heavy entrenchment lines, then any attack towards these lines are quite pointless. And but that is the conundrum, the situation that they are in right now. It is their life now. There is some geolocations in this area here. There is a Russian tank being geolocated. I think maybe I put it in the wrong color. Over this position, and then over this this forest region in the north of Bilohorivka, this getting hit by Russian thermobaric rockets. So this is the current situation right now. The Russians are pushing probably from this urban this industrial zone region. They are pushing towards Bilohorivka. So let's continue to wait and see how this progress. We move on to, over the Kreminna Front. At the Kreminna Front, Russian forces are attacking through the Serebransk forestry. Ukrainians counterattack at Dibrova. Russians attack at Torske, Terny, and Makievka, clashing with the Ukrainians, and the Ukrainians attack at Nevsky. So as you can see, the Ukrainians are really trying to take more actions. However, this is interesting because they are struggling over the Kharkiv Front, and they are now trying to do some offensive action in the other fronts. I'm not sure if it will do anything because the Russian army groups are totally different. The one that is handling the Kharkiv Front is unrelated to these people over here. So it's not likely that the Russians will be forced into pulling forces from one front to another front in the current context. We move into the Svatove Front. So at the Svatove Front, Russian forces attack at Berestove. This is Novoyehorivka. Which one is this? This Andriivka. This Novoyehorivka. So that is Berestove. Stemakivka, sorry. So again, let me start. Berestove, Stemakivka, Andriivka, and also at Novoyehorivka, and the Ukrainian forces counterattack at Novoyehorivka. So this is the current situation at Svatove, and so nothing much to report about in this area here. This is part of this massive offensive across from Kreminna all the way to the Kupyansk Front, which is moving towards Shoigu River. In a sense, we can also call this entire thing the Shoigu Front, but it's not really important in that sense. Over at the Kupyansk Front, Russian forces are attacking towards Petropavlivka. Ukrainian forces counterattack at Khyslivka, and that's about it at the Kupyansk Front. South of this position that was mentioned is the Berestove one, so that was already mentioned. So Ukrainian counterattack at the Khyslivka is the first time they have counterattack in this area here after the Russians have captured it around on the 8th, or actually before that. Let me zoom in. Since the 5th of May. So we are like, yeah, it's actually, it feels like a long time ago, but it's actually only like 1 week plus almost 2 weeks. So yeah, we shall continue to monitor, and that's it from the Kupyansk Front, and that's about it. So this is the SITREP, the summary for the day of 809 for the 12th of May. These are all the actions in the Ukraine war for the past 24 hours. So do support, press the like button, and if you are interested to see this mapping yourself, look at the details yourself. The link is in the description below. Or if not, defensepoliticsasia.com/Ukraine. You'll find this map over there. And yeah, do check out the DPA Open Mic, check out the Frontline Changes report, and also if you are subscribed on the DPA War channel and not on the main channel, do consider subscribe on the main channel. There's more stuff over there where I cover geopolitics and news. And in the latest report, I talk about Shoigu. Shoigu has been sacked. Not sacked, actually. No, he actually been redeployed, given a new assignment. It's in a way, it's like a promotion to the national security, to the Russian Security Council as the secretary over there. And that role is actually higher, in a way, is higher than the current role, but it's less stressful, but it's dealing with things on a one tier level higher, and that position also bring him closer to Putin, because that position works with Putin directly. So that person will be working with Putin on a daily basis, so they can go fishing together again. They can go go row the boat again, which he cannot do as a defense minister, because defense minister is way more busier. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next update.